I always believed respect was the backbone of a marriage. Love can fade, passion can change, but respect is what keeps two people standing side by side. But my husband Daniel seemed determined to prove me wrong. It began on a warm Saturday morning. Sunlight streamed through our living room windows while I prepared breakfast. I hummed quietly, waiting for him to come down. We had plans. My father was hosting a business meeting, and he wanted Daniel and me to attend. It was important, especially now, when my father was hinting at retirement and new leadership. I thought the day would be normal. I was wrong. Daniel finally walked downstairs, looking far too pleased with himself. He had that arrogant smirk, the same one he wore whenever he knew he'd done something behind my back. "Good morning," I said softly. He didn't answer. Instead, he grabbed a cup of coffee and headed for the door. "Daniel," I called again. He didn't turn around. "I'm running late." "For what?" I frowned. He simply waved a hand. "Things to take care of." His vague answers had become routine. But today, something felt different. He was too smug, too relaxed, too confident. After he left, I stepped outside to take out the trash. But when I reached the driveway, my heart dropped. My car, my beautiful silver sedan, was gone. At first, I thought Daniel had taken it. He borrowed it often, usually without asking. But something felt wrong. I called him. No answer. I called again. Still nothing. Finally, after 20 agonizing minutes, he picked up. "What?" he snapped, as if I had interrupted something important. "Daniel, where is my car?" Silence. A tense, heavy silence that told me everything. Then he laughed. Actually laughed. "Oh, that I gave it to my mother." My heart dropped. "You, what?" "She needed a car," he said casually. "Yours was just sitting there. You can manage without it." "Daniel, that car was a gift from my father." "So?" "It was still yours, and since we're married, what's yours is mine." My hands shook. "You gave away my car without telling me?" "Calm down," he snapped. "It's not a big deal. And don't embarrass yourself by making this dramatic." Not a big deal? He had given away my car to a woman who hated me, a woman who constantly criticized my clothes, my cooking, my voice, my presence. I felt anger rising like fire inside my chest, but I forced myself to breathe. "Daniel, bring the car back." "No," just one word. Cold, final. "We're going to be late to my father's meeting," I reminded him. "You can take a taxi." A taxi. To my father's business event. While his son-in-law would arrive in my car, now handed to his mother. I felt humiliated, disrespected, and deeply betrayed. But there was something else, something I didn't know yet. This wasn't just about a car. Daniel had been growing more insolent, more entitled, and more controlling. He had begun treating my father's success as his own. And worst of all, he believed he could use me and everything my father gave me as stepping stones for his own ego. I needed help, so I called my father. He answered immediately. "Sweetheart, everything all right?" I wanted to sound strong, but my voice cracked. "Dad, Daniel gave my car to his mother." Silence. Then a slow exhale. "I see." That was all he said. But I knew that tone. My father wasn't an emotional man. But when he was silent, that meant something was coming. "Where are you now?" he asked. "At home." He told me to take a taxi. "Don't move," my father said. "I'm coming to pick you up myself." "But the meeting..." "Forget the meeting. I'm coming." Moments later, his black SUV pulled up. He stepped out, calm but with a fire in his eyes I rarely saw. "Get in," he said. His voice was gentle, but underneath it, sharp as a blade. As I buckled my seatbelt, I felt tears sting my eyes. "I'm sorry," I whispered. He reached over and squeezed my hand. "Don't ever apologize for someone else's disrespect," he said quietly, "especially not your husband's." We drove in silence until he suddenly asked, "Where is the car now?" "With his mother." My father nodded slowly. "Good." I looked at him, confused. "Good?" "Yes," he said calmly. "If she has it, then it's the perfect place to start." "Start what?" I asked. He didn't answer. He simply gave me a small, knowing smile. "One thing you must remember, sweetheart," he said as we turned onto his private road. "Men like Daniel only understand one thing: consequences." When we reached the mansion, his security team was already lined up. My father stepped out of the car and said just 3 words: "Prepare the plan." I froze. "Plan? What plan?" My father placed a steady hand on my shoulder. "Your husband thought he could humiliate my daughter and get away with it. His voice grew colder. He is about to learn otherwise. My heart raced. My father was calm, too calm, which meant only one thing. His revenge would not be loud. It would not be emotional. It would not be messy. It would be devastating. And Daniel would never see it coming. The moment we stepped inside my father's mansion, the atmosphere shifted. The staff stood straighter. Security watched us closely. Something was already in motion, something bigger than I understood. My father led me into his private study, a room only a handful of people ever entered. He locked the door behind us and turned toward me slowly. "Sweetheart," he began, "there is something you need to hear, something important." I frowned. "Dad, what's going on?" He walked to his desk, opened a drawer, and pulled out a folder, thick, heavy, filled with documents. "Your husband," he said calmly, "has been very busy." My stomach dropped. He placed the folder in front of me and opened it. Inside were screenshots, bank statements, legal drafts, and pictures. Pictures of Daniel meeting strangers. Pictures of documents he had tried to sign. "What is this?" I whispered. "My investigators have been watching him for months," my father said. I wanted to believe he was just immature, but what he's been doing is worse. I flipped through the papers, heart hammering. Daniel had been trying to transfer several of my father's assets, properties, shares, and investments, into a joint company in his and his mother's names. He had forged signatures, filed fake requests, even contacted brokers behind my father's back. My hands trembled. "He tried to steal from you. He tried to steal from you," my father corrected sharply. "Everything he targeted was part of your future inheritance." My breath caught. Daniel didn't just give my car away out of arrogance. He wanted to send a message. A warning, a display of power, a way to condition me to accept losing things. "He thinks," my father said coldly, "that because you're gentle, quiet, and kind-hearted, you won't fight back." "But why?" I asked softly, voice shaking. My father sighed deeply. "Because he doesn't love you. He loves what he believes you'll inherit." The truth hit me like a punch. That painful clarity I had been avoiding for months, now staring me in the face. Daniel's recent behavior, the insults, the arrogance, the entitlement, the sudden interest in my father's businesses. It all made sense now. My father placed both hands on my shoulders. "But don't you worry. We're going to teach him exactly what it means to underestimate us." A chill ran through me. "What are you going to do?" He smiled, a calm, dangerous smile I'd only seen during business wars. "Revenge," he said simply, "but the elegant kind." We drove to Daniel's mother's house, my car parked proudly in her driveway like a trophy. She stood outside, arms crossed, wearing her usual expression of permanent disapproval. "Oh, look," she sneered. "The princess finally came crying to her daddy." Before I could respond, my father stepped forward. "Where's the car key?" he asked her quietly. She scoffed. "It's mine now." My father didn't raise his voice. He simply turned to his security head and nodded. In seconds, 2 guards walked past her, entered the house, and came out with a small black box containing the key. She exploded. "How dare you! That car belongs to my family now." My father faced her slowly. "That car," he said in a calm but lethal tone, "was legally purchased by me. It was a gift to my daughter, and according to the law, any gift can be reclaimed if it was transferred without consent." She froze, her mouth opened and closed like a fish. The neighbors peeked through their windows. She shrank, embarrassed. "And one more thing," my father added, leaning slightly toward her. "Keep your son on a tight leash. The next time he tries to take what belongs to my family, I won't be so polite." The color drained from her face. My father gestured, and a driver pulled up with one of his cars. "Take the vehicle," he told me. "Yours will be sent to the mansion." I nodded silently, still processing everything. But the drama wasn't over, because at the exact moment we turned to leave, Daniel arrived. He stepped out of his car, shocked to see us, and furious to see his mother humiliated. "What the hell is going on here?" he snapped. My father didn't even look at him. He simply handed me into the car like a gentleman. But Daniel stormed forward. "Oh no, you don't get to leave without explaining. Did you tell your daddy lies about me?" My father turned slowly. "What you've done," he said, "needs no lies. Your actions speak loud enough." Daniel scoffed. "You think you can talk to me like that?" My father stepped closer, and the temperature in the air seemed to drop. You stole my daughter's car. You attempted to forge legal documents. You tried to transfer assets that do not belong to you. And you dared to humiliate my daughter when all she's ever done is love you. Daniel paled. His mother paled. My father continued, voice low and lethal. You think I don't know everything? You think your greed goes unnoticed? My daughter chose you out of love, and you repaid her with betrayal. Daniel stuttered. You're exaggerating. No, I'm not. My father pointed to his security team. We have all the evidence. Every signature you forged, every call you made, every broker you approached. Daniel's face twisted with fear, then rage. You're bluffing! My father smiled faintly. I don't bluff. A cold silence followed. Daniel's mother stepped forward, trembling. This is misunderstanding. No, my father cut her off sharply. This is the beginning. He turned away and we got into the car. As we drove off, I looked back. Daniel was standing in the middle of the road, face pale, hands shaking, eyes wide with growing dread. He finally understood something. This time, he had messed with the wrong family. And my father's revenge, it had only just begun. The house was unusually quiet when I returned. No shouting, no slamming doors, no insults disguised as jokes, just silence. It should have felt peaceful, but instead, it felt like the calm before a storm. I stepped into the living room and found Ethan pacing back and forth, his phone glued to his ear. No, Mom, I didn't know. Just come home, okay? We'll fix this. I'll talk to him. No, I don't think he's bluffing. Just come back, his voice trembled. Good. Let him feel even 1% of the anxiety he'd put me through. He hung up and turned sharply toward me. What did your father do? He demanded, fury twisting his face. I walked past him, calm as a still lake. You mean what our father did? Because remember, you announced to everyone yesterday that my family is pathetic and irrelevant. So why do you care? Don't play games with me, Maya, he shouted. Mom is furious. She said, Dad, your stupid father, just humiliated her in front of her entire club. Good, I said simply. His jaw dropped. Good? Good? He took the car. He embarrassed her. I raised an eyebrow. Correction. He reclaimed something that was never yours or hers. My father doesn't give gifts to people who treat his daughter like dirt. Ethan's face went red. You're exaggerating. Mom doesn't treat you. I cut him off. She calls me a parasite. She tells guests I tricked you into marriage. She says I'm not worthy of being in her family. And you? You nod along like a trained puppet. Ethan blinked. Mom just speaks her mind. You're too sensitive. There it was. The classic line. I took a breath and kept my voice level. And you crossed the line when you handed my car keys to her like it was nothing. That car was never yours to give, he scoffed. It's just a car. She needed it. You barely use it. I barely use anything in this house, I replied. You made sure of that. Silence. He hated when I talked calmly because it forced him to face reality. Before he could respond, his phone rang again. He glanced at the screen. His mother. He answered instantly. Mom? Are you on your way? Pause. What do you mean you're not coming back yet? Another pause. Cops? What cops? My eyebrows lifted. Oh? This was new. He turned pale, then even paler. Mom, slow down. What do you mean the cops stopped you because the car isn't registered under me? I slowly sat on the couch, folded my hands, and waited. Mom, listen, he stammered. Dad must have done something. No, she didn't know. Maya didn't. Mom? The call cut. He stared at his phone like it had betrayed him. Then he rounded on me. What did your father say to her? Did he threaten her? I bit back a laugh. Ethan, my father doesn't threaten. He acts. You're enjoying this, he whispered. You're actually enjoying this. I met his gaze. I'm enjoying the justice. He collapsed onto a chair, gripping his head. Mom said, she said the police told her the car belongs to your father's corporation, that she needs to provide proof of permission or return it. She's panicking, I shrugged. Actions have consequences, he shot up again. Maya, this is going too far. Too far? I repeated softly. You want to know what too far looks like? I walked toward him slowly, each step deliberate. Too far is when a husband calls his wife useless because her family is struggling. Too far is handing away her belongings without asking. Too far is letting your mother humiliate me at every event, every dinner, every moment. Too far is you choosing them over me every single time. His mouth opened, but nothing came out. Good. Now, I said, my father simply returned the humiliation you all served me. He ran his hands through his hair. Mom is coming home and she's furious. Maya, she said she'll never forgive you. I smirked. She didn't have to forgive me before. Nothing changes. He stepped closer. Please, talk to your father. Tell him to give the car back. Otherwise, Mom will make my life hell. I raised my chin. Your mother has been making my life hell for years. I think you'll live. Please, he repeated, desperate. Just talk to him. Fix this. I should fix it? I asked. Why? Because you broke it? He didn't answer, so I turned away. But just as I walked past him, he grabbed my wrist, not harshly but desperately. Maya, I'm sorry. My steps froze. The words hung between us like a fragile thread. You're what? I whispered. He swallowed. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have given the car away. I shouldn't have let Mom treat you like that. I didn't know what else to do. I looked at him. Really looked. For the first time in years, he wasn't arrogant, defensive, or dismissive. He was scared, intimidated, lost. But sympathy was not something he deserved today. You can apologize, I said slowly, but consequences still exist. If you want things to change, start proving it, not with words, with actions. He nodded, defeated. Okay, I will. I walked toward the stairs, because whether he changed or not, one thing was already clear. My father had just opened the first door of revenge, and 4 more were waiting. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of raised voices downstairs. At first, I thought I was dreaming, until my father's voice cut sharp through the silence. Calm, controlled, but dangerous. I rushed down the stairs. My father stood in the living room, hands behind his back, dressed in a dark suit that made him look even more authoritative. My mother stood beside him, watching everything quietly. And across from them, my husband Ryan and his mother, the oh-so-entitled Linda, both looking extremely uncomfortable. What's going on? I asked. Ryan snapped. Your father barged in here without permission. My father raised an eyebrow. I bought this house. I can enter whenever I please. Linda's mouth fell open. You lied to us. Ryan said he bought this house with his own money. My father's silence was the kind of silence that crushed pride like paper. He walked past all of them and stood in the center of the room. Since my daughter didn't tell you, he said, I will. This entire estate, house, land, cars, business shares, was a wedding gift to her. Not to you, not to your family. To my daughter only. Ryan turned pale. Linda looked like someone had slapped her with a brick. And, my father added softly, my daughter does not share what she owns with thieves. The word thieves hit them both like a bullet. Linda stepped forward, shrieking, Thieves? How dare you? Your daughter is ungrateful. My son is a wonderful husband. She doesn't deserve him. Before I could respond, my father moved closer, his voice so low it made the room colder. Your son gave away my daughter's car without permission. Your son repeatedly disrespected her. Your son allowed you to invade her home and treat her like a guest in her own property. If this is what you call a wonderful husband, then your standards are as cheap as your lies. Linda gasped. Ryan clenched his fists. Dad, I said softly, I'll handle it. But he shook his head. No, you've suffered enough. He stepped back and gestured to the doorway. 2 men walked in, security personnel, dressed in black. Expressionless, Linda froze. Who are they? My father replied, the legal security assigned to my daughter's properties. They're here to remove anyone who does not belong. Ryan's face reddened. You can't just kick me out. I'm her husband, for now, my father said calmly. But even a husband has no right to take another person's property. You broke the law. That car was mine, Ryan shouted. My father pulled out a document. Actually, this is the registration. Owner, my daughter, not you. He handed it to me. Proof. Ryan stuttered. I didn't know. You didn't care to know, I replied. Linda shrieked again. You can't do this. We're family, my father laughed. Not kindly, family. You treated my daughter like a servant. You tried to humiliate her. You put your hands on what was never yours. That's not family. That's opportunism. He snapped his fingers. The guards moved forward. Linda panicked and clung to Ryan. Do something. But Ryan was frozen, sweating, shocked. Wait, he shouted. Just give me a chance to explain. My father leaned against the couch. Then speak. Ryan swallowed hard and turned to me. It was a mistake, he said. I only gave the car to my mom because she needed it. I didn't think it would matter. I didn't realize how much it meant to you. It didn't mean anything, I said quietly. It was mine, that's all. He stepped closer. Okay, fine. I messed up, but I can fix it. I'll get the car back. My father raised one eyebrow. You won't need to. Right then, the front door opened again. A towing truck was parked outside, carrying my car. Shiny clean, untouched. Behind it stood another of my father's employees. Delivered, the man said, just like you ordered. Linda's face twisted in confusion. How did you? My father smiled. I own the dealership your friend bought the car from. I simply reversed the transaction. Linda went silent. Ryan stepped back as if the floor was moving under him. You see, my father continued, fixing the car wasn't the real issue. It was exposing your intentions. He looked at me. Now you know what kind of man you're married to. The room felt like it stopped breathing. Ryan trembled. Please don't leave me. Linda slapped his arm. You're begging her? After everything I did for you? My father gave a slow, sarcastic clap. Yes, everything you did for him. That's the problem. He motioned to the guards. Remove them. Linda screamed. Ryan pleaded. But the guards gently, but firmly, escorted both of them out. Linda continued shouting all the way to the driveway. You'll regret this, both of you. We'll sue! We'll... The door closed. Silence. I took a long breath. My father placed a hand on my shoulder. You don't need people who use you, he said softly. You deserve loyalty. I didn't realize I was crying until my mother hugged me. Thank you, I whispered. My father shook his head. Don't thank me yet, he said. This is only the beginning, I blinked. What do you mean? He gave a small, cold smile. Because tomorrow, we start with the real consequences. The room went completely silent after my father placed the thick file on the table. Ryan's hands trembled as he flipped through the pages. Bank statements, forged signatures, loan documents, all done under my name. His face turned gray. Linda stared at him horrified. You told me you didn't take any loan. You said everything was perfectly safe. Ryan couldn't even look at her. My father clasped his hands calmly. Your actions aren't small mistakes, he said. They are crimes. Ryan dropped to his knees. Sir, please don't call the police. I'll fix everything, I swear. My father didn't respond. Instead, he turned his eyes toward me. It's your decision. Every eye in the room landed on me. Ryan's voice cracked. Please, don't destroy me. Linda ran forward and clutched my arm. You selfish girl, you'll jail my son? After all we did for you, I gently pulled my arm away. Everything you did for me? I repeated quietly. You disrespected me. You invaded my room, you took my car. Linda snapped. You never deserved my son. You were just lucky to marry someone like him. My father stood. That's enough. She fell silent immediately. I inhaled deeply, feeling everything, anger, hurt, betrayal, slowly drain out of me, leaving only clarity. Ryan, I said softly, look at me. He lifted his red, swollen eyes. You didn't hurt me by accident. You hurt me because you thought I couldn't leave. You thought I wouldn't fight back. You took advantage of my love. He whispered, I know. Please don't give up on us. There is no us, I said calmly. His shoulders collapsed. I'm giving you one chance, I continued. One way to avoid prison. Ryan froze. Linda held her breath. You will sign the divorce papers today. Right now. Silence. Then, no, please, no, Ryan shouted. I love you. I can fix everything. If you loved me, I said quietly, you never would have treated me this way. My father tapped the table, and the guard brought out the divorce folder. Ryan pushed it away violently. I'm not signing. I won't lose you. But my father leaned forward. If you don't sign, he said coldly, I will file all charges. Forgery, fraud, identity theft. You will go to jail today. Linda's scream echoed through the hall. Sign it! At least you won't be arrested, Ryan sobbed, shaking uncontrollably. His tears fell onto the papers, and finally, with trembling hands, he signed. The moment the pen left the page, he broke down completely. Linda dropped into a chair, speechless. My father gathered the papers slowly. You made the right decision, for once. Not hatred, just closure. You didn't lose me today, I said. You lost me the moment you chose greed over love. Those words shattered him more than anything else. My mother stepped beside me. Come, sweetheart, it's over. As I walked toward the door, Ryan choked out one last desperate cry. Will you ever forgive me? I paused. Without turning, I said, I forgive you. But I will never return, and I walked out. Outside, the sunlight felt warmer than it had in months. My father placed a gentle hand on my back. You stood tall, he said proudly. I'm glad you chose yourself. I nodded, tears stinging my eyes, but these tears were different. Not of pain, of freedom. We drove home together, leaving the mansion and everything it represented behind me. 2 weeks later, I moved into a bright new apartment my parents helped me set up. I went back to work, started planning my own business, rebuilt my life piece by piece. One morning, I received a text from an unknown number. It was Ryan. I'm paying the debts. I hope you're doing better. I'm sorry for everything. I stared at it for a few seconds, then deleted it. Not with anger, not with regret, but with peace, because I had finally learned the truth. You don't need revenge when walking away is the bigger victory. And for the first time in a long time, I felt truly, beautifully free.